You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from...
My name is Melissa Veatch, and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. And I was sentenced to 400 months in federal prison for a conspiracy charge, where I was charged with almost 50 kilos of complete ghost dope, meaning that they didn't ever arrest me with any actual weight, no evidence, no phone taps, no nothing. It was complete co-conspirator hearsay by people that got huge reductions for cooperating with the feds to say what they wanted them to say, basically. I'm 49, and my out date is 2045, which makes me like my late 70s getting out of here. I'm a nonviolent criminal. I do have a really lengthy criminal history because I've been an addict since I was 14. I'm far from innocent, but I've never even seen 1 kilo, much less 50 kilos.
This episode's about Melissa Veatch, federal inmate number 69224080. Melissa is a woman who is currently serving 33 years for a conspiracy charge, also known as ghost dope conspiracy cases. Ghost dope conspiracies usually revolve around somebody who's trying to get a downward departure for cooperating with the authorities. And they'll give names and name people, and those people will be rounded up and indicted as well. It's a cheap way of getting yourself out of trouble and not wanting to do the time for the crime that you committed. And it's really saddening to see that our federal system works this way, that you don't need to have hard evidence. All you really need is the word of a criminal to say, yes, I sold drugs to that person, and that's it. That's all you need. And people are getting huge amounts of time. I mean, 33 years, that's more than some people will get for killing somebody. Seriously. So the reason why I've took on this conversation was I feel like these are injustices and they should be pointed out. The American people I don't think the population really understands how the criminal justice system works in this way. And so I want to bring out some of these stories and, explain and let these women tell their stories of how they're being locked up with, and the keys thrown away, for a victimless crime, non-violent crime, when they should be getting drug treatment instead of, 33 years, 24 years, life in some cases. So I hope you learned something from listening to this episode. And if anybody out there can help Melissa or help point her in the right direction or can share resources, feel free to reach out to me. My information will be at the bottom of the show notes in the Linktree link. My email will be in there. Reach out to me or reach out to Melissa directly. She gives all of her information in the towards the end. Also, a couple of weeks after I recorded this conversation, I was informed by my friend Joe, who was the one who asked me if I could interview Melissa or have a conversation with Melissa. He informed me that one of her sons was killed in a car accident. So I have yet to speak to her since, there was an email, and I returned an email a couple of days ago, and I haven't heard back. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with Melissa. If she's all right. It's got to be tough. Being stuck somewhere and you can't, get to your loved ones to, it's tough all the way around. So Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And so without further ado, let's get to the show.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Melissa Veatch.
an inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept. Dial 5 now.
What's up, Melissa?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm doing a lot better now that I've got everything situated. So what I'm going to do is introduce you, and then we'll get right into it, all right? This is a Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and I'm your host, Sean Dustin. Today I am talking to Melissa Veatch, and she is currently an inmate at the BOP. Melissa, how you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right. So the reason why we're here talking is you have been dealt a pretty raw hand. You got 400 months on a conspiracy charge. So why don't you go ahead and tell my listeners a little bit about you and where you're, what we can help you with.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's kind of wide open, huh? Okay. Well, my name is Melissa Veatch, and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. And I was sentenced to 400 months in federal prison for a conspiracy charge, where I was charged with almost 50 kilos of complete ghost dope, meaning that they didn't ever arrest me with any actual weight, no evidence, no phone taps, no nothing. Like it was complete co-conspirator hearsay by people that got huge reductions for cooperating with the feds to say what they wanted them to say, basically. And so I'm 49. And my out date is 2045, which makes me like my late 70s getting out of here. I'm a nonviolent criminal. I do have a really lengthy criminal history because I've been an addict since I was 14. I'm far from innocent, but I've never even seen 1 kilo, much less 50 kilos of meth.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons why I picked this up. I was doing, when I did my bid, and I was in my, fighting my case, there was tons of people that were in there for the same situation where because these guys, I'm sure at one point in their life, they sold some drugs, but, they'd moved on with their life and stopped, and somebody else decided to use their name to get themselves out of trouble off of maybe a pound or a kilo that they may have sold them 5 years ago, And so there really is a problem with the time versus the crime.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and just for the facts, you know what I mean? Like I feel like very strongly that people should not be able to go in and sit down with agents and, well, let me just give you an example.
This call is from a federal prison.
I was in not a holding cell, but I was in a cell fighting my case, and there was a bunch of us that had been picked up on the same conspiracy. And I watched with my own eyes 5 or 6 girls get together that were housed together and come up with a name. One of the girls didn't like one girl because she had, slept with her boyfriend. So they made up an amount, made up times, dates, and decided to call the agent and tell on her, so that they could get more time off and they could, kind of screw her over. And it worked. Each one of them got called in there, and they gave the same name, and she's actually one of my co-defendants now, and she ended up with 16 years. And that could happen to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, I get the relevant conduct part of it. I get all that. But how is it anywhere near justice when you can just go in and literally lie? And because someone has been in trouble a lot, or it doesn't matter how many crimes you've committed, it matters that if you've committed this crime. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's just wrong. Like, I'm not on the phone with you to ever say that I wasn't guilty. I'm just saying that I did not sell 50 kilos of meth. I was living in a rundown motel with my son who is a heroin addict, or he's clean now, and we were barely making it, and they charged me with the street value of $1 million of meth. Where was my attorney? Where was my commissary even at that point? You know what I mean? Like, I had nothing. And I didn't own a home. I didn't own, my car had been wrecked, and we didn't even have insurance on it. I mean, very low-level drug abuser. Like, and I'm not trying to down myself, but I'm just being very honest. Like, the crime doesn't fit with my lifestyle. It's an abuse. It's an abuse of power, is what it is. That law was made for very high up.
This call is from a federal prison.
Criminals such as John Gotti. That's where the ghost dope thing came in, when they couldn't catch somebody that owned all these houses and blah blah blah. Not for normal street users.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm gonna, when I sold to an undercover, when I got busted, right, I sold to an undercover 5 separate times, an ounce apiece of meth in the state of Nevada. So we all know that in Nevada, you used to be able to you'd go to prison for a seed, right? A seed of marijuana. I got a 15 to 60 month sentence on a first felony. So you said you had a lengthy history. I mean, okay, that aside, 400 months. I mean, that's almost like quadruple, even if more than what I got. And they caught me dead to rights. They didn't even catch you with anything.
No, they didn't catch me with anything. Like, they gave me 33 years, and I feel like it was based on my criminal history, which I feel like is wrong too, because I've already done that time. You know what I mean? I get busted for some stupid crime, like nothing serious, and I go to state prison for a couple years, and I get out, and that punishment has already been given, and my sentence was already served. So now I've got 33 years because of 23 people that decide to go in there and say, oh yeah, we bought tons of pounds from her. And so they look at my criminal history and say, well, it must be true, And so here I sit, literally dying in prison. I'm probably going to die in prison. And I'm in here with people. I mean, I don't know. If I make it to 79 or 80, I won't, But then what do I do when I get out? You know what I mean? Like, that's something to think about too. And I'm in here literally with, and I don't want to, like, throw stones at another inmate, but I'm in here with people that have killed their children and who have less time than me. What'd you do? I threw my baby out the window. How much time did you get? 15 years? I mean, there's just I don't understand. I'm still in shock, and I've been in prison over this since 2016.
Yeah, the problem, I think definitely, like, you shouldn't have got as much time, but your time really should have been more towards rehabilitation, because I heard some of your story, and you had your I don't know if I've heard this right, but your mom actually almost like basically sold you to a dealer, almost, right?
Kind of when I was 17. Yeah, I left a very abusive relationship. I got married when I was 16, and I had my son, and that didn't work out, and so I left, and I went to find my mom, who ended up, my mom overdosed in 2016 on opiates. But yeah, she when I got there, I really didn't know what to do. I was just a kid still, and I was introduced to injecting methamphetamine. I'd never done that, and kind of talked me into going with her Connect, so that she could get a large quantity. And I guess at that time, I just wanted to belong somewhere. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I've always I really wanted her approval my whole life, and I'm not sure why, but I did. And so I went, and that kind of laid out the rest of the road for me, because it never went good again,
Yeah, that's
very
tough.
deep into the meth world. Huh?
That's tough.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Melissa Veatch.
an inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept, dial 5 now.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
I'm okay.
All right, so where'd we leave off?
My mom got me to go with that guy.
Okay, yeah. So she got you to go with that guy. That was kind of like what you were, forced to be living with, right?
Yeah.
Or your upbringing. So.
Yeah, I wasn't really forced to be with him you know what I mean? Like, but heavily persuaded, and I went. I think when you're 17 years old, you're easily influenced, especially by your mom, you know?
Well, yeah,
and I don't want to put a bad light on her because she's dead now, you know what I mean? And she wasn't always bad. I don't want to say that. She was just very heavy into addiction as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand how powerful addiction is and what it actually, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it can change your life. It can take your life. It can totally make you into something or someone that you're not. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you have 33 years in federal prison and you're like, where did it go wrong? What happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I did I kind of did the same thing at one point,
Yeah.
So you've got 400 months. You're in there with a bunch of other women that kind of same thing, right? Same situation.
Yeah.
Like how many would you say women in there your same situation that are on conspiracy charges with looking at a lot of time?
Oh God, looking at a lot of time.
This call is from a federal prison.
40% of the prison I'm at. 70% are here on conspiracy, I would say. A lot of them were just somebody's girlfriend, you know what I mean? A lot of them were just like me. They were just addicts, and they got caught up, and their name was brought into it. And, if you don't have money for an attorney, it's a wrap. Like, when people talk about lawyers selling you out, it happens. Mine did. I mean, I don't feel like mine. I wanted to go to trial, and I was afraid to because I knew that he wouldn't fight for me from his heart. I knew that he wouldn't investigate. I knew that I didn't know 9 of the people that had proffered on me, and I kept telling him I don't even know this person, or I met her one time. How did I sell her 104 ounces? And he wouldn't even. He did nothing. One girl said that I sold her 34,000 grams. Okay, 34,000 grams. And I wasn't out of prison but for 11 months when all this happened. And she said she went to pick up with me 42 times, and that I sold her 29, or that I picked up 29 ounces at a time, which made no sense. She witnessed it. I guess her eyes must have been scales. I don't, you know what I mean? It makes absolutely no sense. And then when I saw her later, I said, why did you say all that? Like, that is the craziest shit I've ever heard. And she said, I never said that. She said, I swear to God, I never said it. And so she wrote a statement and said that she would get on the stand and tell them that she never said that. And she said, what I did say was this, and her 1,271 something ounces that she put on me turned into like 71 ounces when the truth came out. And the lawyer never even brought it up. He tried to, I think, admit evidence twice, and the judge said it had no merit, and he wasn't going to listen to it. That's a huge difference.
Yeah, 71, and that is a huge difference.
Yeah. It's a huge difference, and they wouldn't even listen. And this was the person that they were using to put me in prison for 30 years was saying that she never said it, that she didn't know why they had said that, and was willing to take the stand, and they didn't want to hear it. You wanted to hear it when she put 34,000 grams on me, supposedly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, give a lie detector test. If all this is true, then what's the problem with putting somebody on a lie detector machine and getting to the bottom of it? So, because I would have taken one easily.
Yeah. So you're
prove what was, huh?
So your public defender, or the federal ones, are they federal public defenders, or are they? He had his own.
his name was Tolly Hoffer, and he had his own business out, his own law firm out of Dallas, Texas. I don't think he was with the public defender's office. He was just appointed to me.
Okay, yeah, probably since all of your you had like co-conspirators, right? And so they were all.
Yes.
One of them may have used one of them got a public defender from the actual place, and then the rest of them have to get different ones because then it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, we all have to get appointed, and my judge was John McBride, who's known as just, Satan in a black robe, literally. Like, there's no way we could have got a fair trial with him. So to have a court-appointed attorney that doesn't care in front of a judge that already hates you, you know what I mean? It's just, you have no chance right from the beginning. There was not going to be a fair trial.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
This call is from a federal prison.
And we're in the United States of America. I mean, you know what I mean? We're not in a third world country.
Well, I guess that would depend on who you talk to. But I mean, it's getting there if it's not already there. It's that's an unfortunate thing. So where is it that you want to go from here? You want me to, cause I'm going to be talking to that lady, Holly Coleman, tomorrow, in a Facebook Live, interview. So, I mean, what kind of questions would you want me to ask her? I'm going to breeze it by, ask her basically, hey, what should she do?
What could she do? Right now I'm waiting for my certificate of appeal, at the Fifth Circuit. And if I get that, I need someone that knows, because I know nothing about the law. I didn't even finish high school. So I get so emotional. But I need someone who could fight for me. And if I get the certificate of appeal, then I'll be able to appeal the sentence. But I can't do it because I don't know how. You know what I mean? And I don't have the money to hire an attorney. So what I need mostly is someone that understands the law and knows a pro bono attorney or is willing to help me, fight it or something, because I don't know what I'm doing. And a lot of women here, we don't know what we're doing. So there's no way that we can fight for ourselves because we don't understand.
No, yeah, for sure. I totally get it. When I was there, I felt like there were some things that, were unfair on my deal, and same thing, I'd already, you're just not gonna, you got to get somebody to, usually pro bono stuff is, they reserve that for celebrities or high profile things that are gonna, get them a bunch of money. But yeah, I mean, if I agree, if anybody out there that's listening,
Sean, if one person would just take a look at our case and look at the whole conspiracy of the Fort Worth conspiracy, it's the Northern District of Texas, and look at the weight that was put on these people, all of us, by different people that proffered, and see how it didn't add up. Millions and millions of dollars of methamphetamine was charged to all of us by co-conspirators, and it just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? If somebody would just have the heart to take a look at it and go, what is going on here? They would see that the injustice done. They would. Because it's not just me. I have several co-defendants that are doing life in prison that are, you know what I mean? And you can't break the law to catch us breaking the law. Whether we're innocent or guilty, we have a right to be prosecuted legally. And the prosecutorial misconduct that happened in this case is disgusting, and no one's doing anything about it. They're just going to let us die in here.
Unfortunately, it's because, you're I feel like they do that on purpose just so they can get you guys as, that cheap labor, because the prison industry is for profit now. So.
Oh yeah. Unicor is a big, you know what I mean? I work at Unicor and yeah, it's what goes on there is crazy too. Sometimes I work from 7:30 in the morning till 8 p.m. at night. Right now, because of the COVID, we get no breaks. You know what I mean? Because of social distancing, yet we can all be in there together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I definitely know what you mean. And that's a huge problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about money. It all comes down to trading lives for money for the government.
Well, not just for the government, for almost all corporations. So, I mean, this is just this is just one arm of it, of the mechanism.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Melissa Veatch.
An inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept. Dial 5 now.
Okay.
Hey, Sean.
Hey. All right. Where do we leave off?
With Unicor, I think.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, you're working at Unicor. The whole reason why the judges and, they're handing out this time is, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I imagine that they've got, money tied into, investments into these, corporations that are running the prisons and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're incentivized to hand out that time,
Yeah. So, I mean, could anything be done about that? I mean,
well, we're trying. I mean, the main thing is that we have to. It has to start with a shift in where government isn't so tied into these corporations and elections and campaign donations and stuff like that. I mean, literally. I mean that's one of the huge parts of the problem. But another thing is just trying to get your story out there so the people start hearing and seeing these stories coming out. And being exposed to where you can't turn away from it. This could be
right.
your daughter, your son, your child, that got caught up in something, and the outcome is that unless you're affluent or you have people in your corner or good support system to keep you out, money, you're really just low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like I walked into that courtroom that day I felt like I was walking into a gas chamber that would leave my heart beating. Like I knew it was over with, and I knew that I didn't deserve it, but there was absolutely nothing I could do. I couldn't prove that they were lying. I couldn't prove that the agents were dirty. I couldn't prove any of that because when you have a bad track record, you're already guilty. You know what I mean? That's the sad part. This relevant conduct thing, well, you've done it before, so that means you're doing it now. I don't understand how that's even feasible in anyone's mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
What, just out of curiosity, what's the COVID situation there? Because I know that, like in Yazoo and like some of these other places, I mean, it's pretty rampant.
Well, ironically, we don't have it at all. There hasn't been not one case here where I'm at. I'm at Wasica Federal Prison, and we don't have any cases of it. But it's just now hitting Minnesota really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I am scared for it to come here because we live together. I'm in a 10-man room, and if one person gets it, we're all going to get it, And then I'm 40. I'm going to be 49 in December. I have bronchitis like really bad all the time. You know what I mean? I'm just very prone to getting it and getting sick, so that worries me, But I didn't even try to file compassionate release because, I don't even get the First Step Act because I had a leader organizer role, and they got me with every enhancement they could. So anything that applied to me or that would have applied for programming or anything like that, I'm not eligible for.
How many women do you think, since this happened, have applied for it and have been successful in your prison?
Oh God, maybe 7 out of 700.
Seriously?
Maybe. Yeah, probably not even that. They're mostly just picking the ones that are already going home, and maybe they're getting a couple months more halfway house or something like that. But all that's a joke. That's not happening.
Yeah.
The public thinks it is. They think that the laws, the First Step Act, was some great act of the president.
This call is from a federal prison.
It did nothing for any serious offenders. You know what I mean? Maybe if you had a couple years and you've never been to prison before and it's a white-collar crime and you've already done 80% of your time, then you qualify for the First Step Act. You know what I mean? It was just a hoax.
Yeah.
Nothing ever actually goes through. The only thing that would help, honestly, is if they brought federal parole back and with 50% of your time done. that would stop the mass incarceration. But they're not going to do something like that just because you said it's about money.
Yeah,
Anything that would actually work is off the table.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna do that. I mean, you guys are cheap labor. Are you?
Yeah.
What? So, are you in a facility that where, like, is it just nothing but women there? It's just, you don't service the you know how the FCI, it's a federal correctional institution, but sometimes there's a complex, like the one that I was at, the men's camp serviced the medium, and then there was a detention for people that were fighting their case in the area, and so they literally, everything that happened, from plumbing to anything that they need maintenance, you had one main person, and then you had the inmates from the camp were running everything else from.
Yeah, that's how it is here. The inmates run the institution. It's all women, it's all female, but yeah, we definitely are the ones that do everything. Now, right now, the officers are having to do it because of the COVID, but they are still running Unicor. but nothing else, I think some are going to the kitchen because they have to cook the meals, but anything like the facilities or anything like that is shut down.
Okay, now is there a camp on a camp? And
no.
This call is from a federal prison.
I'm at a low-end federal. It's like a regular FCI.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there is a camp here, but it's like another unit.
Okay, but
yeah,
do the people at the camp? Do the people at the camp come in and do a lot of the work around the guard, the maintenance?
The camp is inside here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my whole thing is that, I mean, if you think about how much money it costs to run that prison, and you're getting $44,000 per person there times 700, all right, and then the inmates are basically doing all of the work. I mean,
right. It's a win-win for them.
Well, then everything that they're making off of Unicor has got to be a profit.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's unreal, and that's what I was telling you. We work literally from 7:30 a.m. until 8 p.m. right now for overtime because they say we're 2 months behind, and then we can't get 10-minute breaks. We used to get 2 10-minute breaks, but we can't get those anymore because of social distancing. But we're right next to each other on machines. And none of it makes sense. There is no social distancing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. I 100% I get it, man. It's a bad situation, and a lot of people would say that, oh well, you put yourself there. Yes, but
right.
You have to be a little bit more compassionate when you start thinking about, okay, well, when the system's rigged against you and you've got judges that are handing out, that are a part of the problem, just like the corporation's part of the problem, for-profit prisons, it's just not, it's just.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just a serious problem.
Listen, Sean, there's a guy on my case, named Kevin Kilo, and he got a life sentence. Now, he just went back and got his life down to 30 because he proved that one of the girls that put a lot of weight on him, he was in prison when she was saying he was her dealer. He was in prison the whole time. So he finally went back and he got it reduced because he proved that he was in prison, but she's on all of our paperwork. So why would any of us be charged with her if she was discredited? You see what I'm saying? There's so many loopholes.
Because you're going to have to find somebody that's out there that's willing to help you and take your case and fight for you and figure that whole thing out. That's the problem. Nobody's just going to say, hey, I'm going to do this, or believe what you're saying. Yeah. And that's, that's kind of the wrong way. But that's why we're here. Nobody
wanted to stand up and say, let me fight for them because what's happening to them is wrong. Everyone was scared of that judge. Literally, even the lawyers. It was really weird. No one wanted to fight because I don't know if they were afraid they weren't going to get another appointment and get the money they were getting. I don't know what it was.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Melissa Veatch,
an inmate at a federal prison. This call is being recorded and is subject to monitoring. Hang up to decline the call or to accept. Dial 5 now.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. It's okay. This has to be the last one because I'm out of minutes for the month until the 13th.
Yep, that's good. This is all I'm going to need. So,
Okay.
what is it that you want people to know primarily, kind of about, like, what have you been doing real quickly? How much time have you been in there so far?
Okay.
What have you done to kind of, you were a meth addict. Have you done any programming? Have you, what have you done? Because people that are going to listen to this, a lot of them, they may want to know, like, what have you done to improve yourself while you've been there?
Okay. Well, when I first started out, first of all, I was picked up February 4th of 2016, and I haven't been out since. So it's a little over 4 years. And I lost my mom. I told you about she overdosed while I was in county jail. And then my kid's dad was in a car wreck. And my one son is schizophrenic, and so it kind of put me in a real bind of who was going to take care of him because his dad was his caregiver. And everything that could go wrong went wrong at once. Like, that was a really bad year. And I started out real rocky with my time. And I rebelled, and I was angry, and I was mad, and I got in a lot of trouble, and then I got sent here, and there's a lot of programming at this prison. Like, there's Unicor, and then there's all kinds of classes that you can take. We can't take anything right now, but I've utilized my time now. I've calmed down, and I've accepted it, and even though I'm still angry, I'm not bitter, and I go to church now, and I read the Bible a lot, and I think that I believe very heavily in God, and
This call is from a federal prison.
He does change your life, and he has made a difference in my life. Like, I'm a lot more peaceful, and I've taken a lot of classes. A lot of things don't apply to me because you have to be within so many years of getting out. So a lot of times you can't do like cosmetology or anything like that until you're like 2 or 3 years from your release date. So that's pretty much never going to apply to me. But I take all kinds of ACE classes. It's kind of like short-term little college classes. And I do a lot of counseling and stuff like that. And like, I've completed phases of counseling and psychology, both. And I just try to be a better person every day. I've worked at Unicor for almost 16 months now. And
And
I don't know, I've stayed out of trouble. Huh?
What's your position at Unicor?
I work on a heat press, and it's really hot right now. It's like 315 degrees, and I put the American Eagle on for Air Force for the United States, and I heat press that onto the shorts every day. And so that's my position there, and I'm a grade 1 now, so I do okay, you know what I mean? And I just deal with it, and I try to fight my case every day to try to get to my kids. And they're grown, but they still need me very much because their life wasn't easy with me. And they didn't have the best start either. So I just worked hard at trying to get someone to hear me, and then I try to better myself for if a miracle happens, then I can live a different life, Because you never realize. Somebody asked me the other day, they were like, what is the most, I don't know how he said it, but he said, what did you realize just a little too late? And I answered that, and I was like, what I realized a little too late was that you can't take life for granted. And that you just think it's going to always, you can always do better tomorrow, but one day you wake up and you don't have your tomorrow anymore, And that's hard to wake up to. So I want to be a better person in case I get a tomorrow,
No, I do. I absolutely. And it, decisions are tough, man. Sometimes you make one and that's it. Game
like
over.
I made so many mistakes, and I wish I could go back and redo them, but I can't. And then when it's just final, it's final, and I don't think I ever really realized how detrimental it would be for everything to add up. Does that make sense?
No, it absolutely. And so, what are you kind of doing to address your addiction issues? I mean, I've struggled with meth myself, and you know, are you doing any NA or AA or anything like that? Or are you just doing counseling and trying to
Well, I'm on a waiting list right now for an NRDAP rehabilitation class that lasts like 3 months. I have completed a few drug rehab classes that I could do. I can't do RDAP yet because I have so long to go, but anything that's offered here, I take it. And the thing I was telling you about the counseling, it's not just counseling, it's like it's called Resolve, and it changes your thinking, because I think that I had a criminal thinking pattern and I had an addictive behavioral problem. And I just have finally learned to gear my hate towards the drug. You know what I mean? Because it does ruin lives. It does. It ruins mine.
Okay, and the last question I'm going to ask you is, if somebody hears this and they decide they wanted to take your case and, you know, a miracle happens and you get your sentence reduced, what are you going to do when you're back out on the streets? Like, what is it that you think about most when you know, you think about that possibility?
This call is from a federal prison.
I have a really good friend that has stuck with me through this, and she's an attorney, and she's not taking my case because it would be a conflict of interest, and she doesn't really practice anymore. She kind of, that was what she used to do, but she would support me in any dream I had. And so, I mean, I already know exactly what I would do. Since I've been in here, there was no one to help. My son is very sick. I have two sons. One is an addict, and the other one, I told you, has schizophrenia, and he's homeless. He has nowhere to go. And if I could make a dream come true, it would be to help, I think, people like him, because everybody's affected. When someone you love goes away for forever, everyone's affected. And so he suffered too, you know. So I think what I would do is I would try to open some kind of home for even adult children or really adult children. He's a child in his mind that don't have anyone, because he's kind of rejected from society because he is an adult, you know. But he needs a place to be too. So I would love to open some kind of home for people like him.
That's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
And then right now, we got about 2 more minutes before this thing's going to shut off. So go ahead and use this time right now to make your plea and you know, what is it that you hope to get from this?
Well, should I give my information, or did you already do that?
You can give your prison information if you want, your prison ID,
Okay.
where you're located, and how people can contact you.
Okay, my name is Melissa Veatch, and it's V as in Victor, EATCH, and my federal number is 69224-080, and I'm at Wasica Federal Prison or Institution. It's P.O. Box 1731, Wasica, Minnesota 56093. And I just want to tell you thank you for everything that you just did.
No, thank you.
I cry so easy. I know it's crazy, but I cry so easy. So I just want to tell you thank you. And I don't know really what I could say to someone. I just want for someone somehow to make a change, even if it's not for me, for the laws to change, because it's not just me. There's so many people that don't deserve the time they got, you know? It's just, I just want justice to be served, you know? And it's not being served. It's being manipulated. And I guess that's it, you know? So it's going to hang up, so it was perfect timing. I hope I did okay. I was so nervous.
Oh, you're great, Melissa, and thank you for everything. Tell your roommate to contact me if she's interested.
Yeah, she's going to. She was going to call tomorrow. Is that okay?
Yeah, she can call. I was going to give her the information. Well, I'll write it. I'll write you an email. But thank you for your patience and everything, and we finally got this done, and hopefully we can make some changes and help you out.
Okay. Yeah, Sean, thank you for everything. You're doing a great thing.
All right. Thanks, Melissa.
Okay. Be good.
Bye.
Bye.